Hello and welcome back to another episode of Deck Pilot. This week I'm taking Blue Jump onto the ladder and you guys are in for a treat. I'm going to be playing within top 20 in this episode of Deck Pilot, so I'm either going to tank back down to mid-20s or I may even climb up to top 10. Let's get into the matches and see how I do. Alright, we are into our match. Taking a look at the mulligan. Battletoads. Good key. We're going to throw these two away. We don't need them yet. We can draw them later. We get one back anyway. And yeah, Battletoads is a pretty good opener. So let's see what our opponent is playing. We are playing second. Let's just set up a good lake and a good Battletoad position for next turn. I feel like Battletoads is probably at its strongest on turn 2. And this is probably Crackthorn. I guess we will see. We're not playing anything this turn anyway. We can play a lake and just pass. So with Crackthorn, I've probably developed on the opposite side, so I can just start farming from the well they haven't pushed to. And it is Crackthorn. And this just lets me collect off my opponent's well very easily, since they're limited to building the special lands. It just means it's much easier for you to set up on an opposite side and just exploit the weakness of the deck having to make all these special lands. It's very hard for them to come defend. Now he may build here, but decided against it. That's one Cypher's Wrath. That's only one. I'll take one. One's good. Another Colossus. Very bad draw there. I guess we can take another draw. And a library, so I'm not finding the good draws, unfortunately. I'm happy to Aurora at this point, because if I lose this frog, I'm going to be way too far behind. I have 2 Colossus in hand. I need to start collecting off my opponent's well. And this Axe Grinder has now paid for itself from being a turn 1 play, and that's the strength of a turn 1 Axe Grinder Osagami Warrior when you're playing as a Crackthorn deck. Sad thing is, I want to take double neutrals next turn, which means I'm not going to get this library down for at least 3 turns. 3 turns minimum. I can go double neutral here and set up a lake. Now, depending on what our opponent's hand is, he should probably play a bit more aggressive. If he goes in the well, he gives me more time. Time is something I'm quite happy to take at this point. So I definitely go down. But it depends what other play he has. He's going in the well. That's good for us. Oh my goodness. Subtle hint. Play Colossus. These are going to be a big problem going into next turn. I'm going to play my first Colossus next turn at 6. Now, it's not great value, but I'm basically paying for it as a Virgin Force, which is fine. But that's assuming this frog doesn't get killed. Cypher's Wrath. Into a mountain. This frog is just going to double collect for me. That's fine. I can't be aggressive with the frog this turn because I want to set up a Colossus. And we can push aggressively with the Colossus next turn. And then just drop another Colossus. And then just drop another Colossus. And should win the game from there, I'd imagine. But sitting on 17 Faeria, you know, we're almost having it for an Aurora's Dream here. Axe Grinder. Gyarados, maybe? Yeah. The other things. Gyarados makes sense. So Profit would be very good. Say no more. Yeah, Profit is excellent. So I can move. So I'm going to develop a lake. I'm going to play Profit here. We can move this here, clear the Gyarados, and then develop another Wave Crash Colossus. No, I would have liked to have done this, but I don't get the library down this turn. If I do that. I'm going to have to build land next turn anyway. Well, I've committed to it now. We'll take the clear. Keep our double collector intact. Well, actually, we could just do this now. And just set up lethal. So just forcing defensive play from our opponent now. So I was thinking getting the library down as well, which meant I had to use my Colossus. A Crackform Beast isn't even that good. You need a teleport, which he does have. So you can deal with at least one of the Colossus, but he's still having 2 swing at him next turn. Well, two aggressors. Ends up shimmying down. That's very interesting. With the Emperor's Command, I'm in such a good spot. Emperor's Command, I have Library. And Wild Play's coming out. And he has to kill a 7/7. Very hard for Green Red Crackthorn at this point. Could have some healing, could like Flame Burst into Emperor's Command for a heal to buy a turn. But you still have that 7/7 swinging at you. Very difficult matchup if you get ahead like that. And that just goes to show the power of Colossus. Like being able to just daisy chain Colossus turn after turn, it can be so overwhelming for a deck like Green Red Crackthorn, which is very slow to start off with. So we do have a clear on the Frog, and not a clear on the Colossus. And there's a Wild Play coming from my opponent. Let's give him a Wild Play back. And boom. And there we have it. There's a win. Let's see how many points I get. 1 point. So this is kind of the experience I'm in top 20 now. I very rarely gain more than 1 point, but when I do, it feels very good. Our next opponent is Alvar, a monthly cup top 4 player. So this should be one hell of a match, to say the least. Let's see how we do against him. We're going to start off with that lake. We have the Triton Warrior as well, and we have the Prophet that ties an Empress Command to have some influence. And it looks like that Alvar could potentially just be playing a blue jump mirror. Alright, let's go. Prophet of the Tide gives us a lot of advantage. I think going first in the blue jump mirror is really strong because you have initiative. You get to do your trick first. Spell Wheel into Triton Warrior. And that is probably off the Spell Wheel, and that is actually really powerful. That's a very powerful Spell Wheel. So what I could do is I could go for a Prophet, play a lake here, get a lake into the middle, jump to this land, then I can use Empress Command and clear this, and that means I could probably 2 for 1 on these guys here. So let's go for that. I also blocked Wild Collection from the right, and now we have to see what this commander gets up to. Even the Prophet of the Tide kills the commander at this point. So I feel that was good enough, to be honest. I couldn't see a better line. I guess I could have just played some Battletoads, I guess, but it just felt a bit weak. I'm already having like a strong influence on board, and now Alvar has to deal with this Triton Warrior. Like, he has to do something about it. He can't just leave it there. That allows him to get an aggressive lake, potentially collect off his well. Looks like he's going to go for a Prophet play of his own. I just wonder if he's going to zip back, or maybe just kill my collector. Nope. going for a collection off my well. So again, very important. And then he establishes the aggressive lake. So going basically for what I was going for. But the one advantage Alvar has, because this Gabrian commander is powered up, it means that it's much harder to kill. Now, if this was a 4-2, Battletoads would deal with it quite easily. That's not the case, unfortunately. So we're just going to ignore it. I'm going to force it to move into weird positions. Now, this means that Alvar probably drew Beirut to empower it. There's not a lot. Beirut or a Colossus, he picked up one of them to get that power up. Now, orb damage doesn't really represent anything right now unless he's able to churn out a Colossus. But I think it's a little dangerous to leave that frog up, because Frogger Fire is still a thing that Alvar needs to respect, and he does respect it. He just leaves it there. And a Triton Warrior. So I'm really behind now in power. That helps, but not by much. Oh, that's really good. That just gives me valuable time. And next turn I can double neutral down and I can double collect with this frog, which will also allow me to play my first Colossus, which is going to be pretty handy. Let's see if a Colossus comes down to Alvar first, which I'm expecting. I'm expecting the first Colossus to come in. No Colossus. So maybe that was Beirut that he picked up. Look at the look at the land of this board. How weird is it? It's just because of Prophet of Tide. Prophet of Tide breaks up lakes and stuff like that. You know, we both use Prophet. And now we have this really bizarre abstract board. But it's not uncommon. That's the thing. Ninja Toad, clear out my collector. It's pretty good. It's just starving me of a bit of Faeria. Might even Aurora, just to keep his Ninja Toad alive, which is a very good line for him. And then gonna push some orb damage. So just trying to race me. To be honest, this is a good race for him. Well, sort of. I picked up another Colossus. All right, I'm losing this race because I don't collect Faeria. And he has a double collect. He has quad collect. I have one collection. So I need to figure out, how do I actually win this game from here? Do I go all in on Colossus now? Do I just pump out 2 7/7s and try and win next turn? It seems like my best line. I don't die next, so I'm trying to win next turn. That's the goal. I just hate how vulnerable it is to this Ninja Toad, but to be honest, there's never going to be a moment where my Colossus isn't vulnerable to that Ninja Toad. So Frogify could come down now. I'm just kind of crossing my fingers, hoping there's no Frogify, hoping there's no Emperor's Command. And there is a Frogify, which is even worse because look, the Ninja Toad survives. Very difficult for me to come back. Take 7, 4, and that's, even if I Frogify now, I'm going to lose. And Emperor's Command for the heal, just to put the nail in the coffin there. And that was a really fast match. You can see just how the mobility really sped up that match and how it played out. But I think one of the biggest things that happened there was Alvar spell whirling into a creature with mobility. That was huge. Like, just as a 4-2, that would have been nuts. I couldn't take the value clear on it because of his own mobility, but look how much work that did. That set up an aggressive land. It gained him Faeria. It killed a Battletoad. You know, it did a lot, and it soaked up one of my own Emperor's Command. So just goes to show that how powerful spell will can really be. So let's give him a well played, and then we'll drop the surrender. That wraps up this episode of Deck Pilot. I hope you enjoyed it. You got to see a master in action, Alvar, piloting a very strong blue jump list. And I hope you guys learned something. You've probably seen this deck enough that you know enough about it. But I feel like it's Faeria now since it's had the training nerf, and I've been enjoying it, and I've been performing pretty well on ladder with it. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and a subscribe. If you haven't already, check out faeria.com/the-hub for all the latest guides, decks, and articles. Until next time, guys, take care and have a great day.